You're watching City Channel 4, your window to our community.
Clarification of agenda items, and it sounds like this is going to be sort of untimely, but there may be some agenda items we could talk about in a way that's just about clarifying particular questions, not about voting. I had one point. Let's see if I can find it, because I'm sorry, I have to scroll back and forth. It has to do with item 6B, the county rezoning. And I noticed that the letter that was written on my behalf to the county is dated March the 23rd. But it states that the city council concurs with the Planning and Zoning Commission's recommendation. And I don't understand how that could be when the council has not concurred yet.
That's just a draft. That date will change when it's sent.
Okay, thanks. I've seen this several times before. I didn't know it was just a draft, so
No, it's
good.
just to give you the substance of the letter before you
Yeah.
vote.
Good deal. Thank you. I'm not hearing any other
I have
clarifications. Go ahead.
A minor, small question on item 4E1, the code amendment on the off-street parking. In reading the description there and the minutes from the Planning and Zoning Commission, the description is that it would be applied to the downtown planning district. Do we mean that, or do we mean the downtown district?
Which item is that, John?
4E1.
Sure. No, I think it is the downtown planning district, and we can certainly outline the parameters of that district in the public hearing presentation. I don't know
It's
if
the downtown district, yeah.
So you say it should read the downtown district?
CB5 within the downtown district. Yes,
So we need to be clear about that.
But yeah, we'll clarify it.
we'll fix it.
Yeah, okay.
So that would relate to any development, any properties? Because I know we originally discussed this for the property over here by City Hall and the Unitarian Church.
Yeah, we'll explain at the public hearing, but
Oh.
it's tailored for this specific property.
Okay.
Okay, any other clarifications? If not, let's move to the info packet discussion, the March 23rd packet. I'm not hearing anything. So we'll move on to the March 30th packet.
KXIC to fill in
Yes.
Jerry Lawler.
with Jerry Lawler.
So I'm going to hop right in there because it's been a while since I did this. I could do either April 12th, 19th, or May 3rd. I guess I'd rather do April 12th or 19th.
Pick one.
19th?
I'll do May 10th.
Do May 17th?
May 3rd.
Slow down,
Whoa, slow
guys.
down, yeah.
Slow down,
Oh.
guys.
May 3rd was Cole.
Rockney.
Rockney.
You still need somebody for April 12th?
Yes.
I'll do that.
I'm on tomorrow.
Is May 24th?
I'll take the 26th.
Hang on,
No.
Kingsley.
I'll do May 24th.
John is
if-
May 24th.
Oh, I thought he was trying to make a comment. I thought it was April 24th, and I was just trying to
Oh.
No.
catch you. I'll do April 26th.
And then I can do June 7th. I won't do any more.
What do you have left?
May 31st?
I can do that one.
Yeah. It's the last school day.
So are we good to go on that?
Yes, I believe so.
Cool.
Good deal. What else?
IP4 pending work session topics. I would like us to get strategic plan, item number 1 on there, provide timely and appropriate input on the ICCSD's Plan 2017 bond referendum, particularly given our meeting with them tonight and the presentation. They really have that pulled together in terms of what their plans are and their objectives and need and tax ramifications. I think it's time for us, now that that information is pulled together and out there in public, that we discuss that and determine our input on that bond referendum. So I would like to get that on our work session calendar as soon as we can.
So it looks like we're pretty full for April 18 and May the 2nd, but we could do May 16. I don't know, Jeff, I don't know if you had other things that had to be on there that you and I haven't talked about.
I think you could add it to the April 18th agenda. You're really going to be just directing staff to prepare something if you decide to take a position.
And I'd rather have it sooner than later.
So would
that
I.
we can-
So
I think,
unless you anticipate that's going to be a long discussion, I think you could do it on the 18th.
I'd like to at least start it on the 18th,
fine.
and hopefully we can,
Okay.
does that
I'm okay
work
with
for
that.
everybody
That's
then?
fine.
Okay. Thank
While
you.
we're on the topic of the 18th, can I just gauge your expectations for the equity report and DMC discussion? How much of an overview of the equity report do you want us to present, or how much of the focus do you want to have just solely on the police department and hearing Chief Matherly's thoughts on the issue?
I can tell you what I think. I think it's important to be clear about where disproportionality that can be influenced by city government exists, and then what currently is being done about each of those activities, whether they are, and then suggestions about what kind of goals we could establish after consultation with the chief and you and so on.
That was sort of my thought process too. I mean, at least as far as I'm understanding where we're at in terms of the process, we've done the report, we've collected the data, and we've hired our police chief, and now we're sort of looking at sort of what the action steps are. Is that where people are thinking we're at this stage, at least in terms of starting that process, based upon what the data is telling us?
Okay.
Yeah.
So from those comments, we won't walk you through the equity report.
I don't think we have to go through everything. There's a lot of detail
Reviewed
there.
that,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, thank
There's got to
you.
be some judgment about what's most important.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, I would agree. And can you resend it?
Sure, we'll put it in the info packet.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to complicate this, but I just looked at 4E1, and I think it is correct as stated. So, but
Downtown
we can
district
give you more
plan.
explanation next time.
Okay. Okay. All right. Any other elements in this information packet?
Oh, the meeting schedule for the summer, we do not want to have, at least I don't want a
4th
meeting
of
on July
July.
4th. I would suggest, and I know lots of summers, we have only had like one meeting in July and maybe one meeting in August. I would suggest that we just go with one meeting in July at this point, skip the 4th and go with the 18th.
What about, I would agree.
As we get closer, we can decide if we need 2 meetings in August or
Yeah,
not.
I guess tentatively do that.
Does that sound
Yeah,
reasonable
it
to
sounds
folks?
reasonable to me.
I will not be here for June 20th. That doesn't change
Yay.
anything.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll be on the
There's
beach.
always uncertainty too about the
Sure.
summer
Yeah.
because, you know, people are kind of
People's-
moving
yeah.
around. So I think we're clear about
Okay.
one meeting in July unless we have to revisit this.
And the rest is
decision.
listed
Yeah.
for the summer. Okay.
Okay, I see 2 things to bring up. One concerns the late handout that we received from Chris. It has to do with the joint entities meeting on April 17th in North Liberty, and the request was for topics that we want to see discussed at that joint entities meeting. So, the bond referendum is one. What else is happening that we really need to have an update on? Is there something we're doing that we really need to bring to their attention?
Well, maybe it's too huge a topic for this, but, you know, I know people always talk about, coordinating transportation policies a little bit more effectively. Was that something maybe that we'd want to get an update in terms of what they're doing with transportation? I know North Liberty's made some progress, or is that maybe too big of a topic to chew at this point? But I know that seems to be, from time to time, people think, oh, why don't we coordinate a little bit more on that?
To our conversation a little bit earlier, Rockne, I'd say
Too big a
it's too big
topic,
and too
yeah.
deep for that kind of a
Something to
meeting.
chew on then, maybe for future ones. Maybe think about that for 2 or 3 out in the future.
What about minimum wage?
Well, go, say more.
Well, I guess from my standpoint, I'm supportive of, trying to maintain what we've already kind of agreed to from that standpoint, regardless of the legislature. I'd be interested to hear about what other city officials think in that regard, or what other, I feel like I pretty much know what the county feels, but I don't necessarily know what Coralville or North Liberty or some of the other entities think.
What are you imagining that we could do when we're prohibited from doing certain things by the state?
I guess for me, it's just, from a collective body saying that we support, obviously businesses have the choice now based on the law, but that we support continuing, honoring, if possible, that 10-10.
Yeah.
So it would be a request almost. I feel like there may be some discussion. If people weren't interested in doing it, they would not be interested in doing it. For those communities that would do it, they'd be interested in doing it, and we go from there.
I mean, we can do a proclamation,
We
can't
can.
we? And
We could.
encourage the other ones, and it would just be a rhetorical, but nevertheless, I think that would be something important.
I do think it's one of those ones that kind of is, for me, it's a joint entities topic, because as we have folks in our businesses, and not necessarily all our businesses, but talking about support, I do think it's awkward if we at least haven't had the conversation at the other entities level, as far as that's concerned. And it's not a pressure situation, it's more of, this is, or at least what I'm proposing. I guess we haven't necessarily discussed this as a council either, but from that standpoint, requesting that they do the
Well,
same.
if we choose to issue a proclamation pertaining exclusively to Iowa City, we could do that on April the 18th. And on the 17th, during the joint entities meeting, simply alert the other
Yeah, I think
entities
that'd be
that we're going to do that, and
That would probably be
invite
the
them
best way to
to
do
it. Yeah.
do whatever they think's appropriate, but here's what we're going to do.
Okay,
It's a great idea.
I'm good with that.
Sounds good.
All right, so Jeff, we probably need some help in drafting such a proclamation. And I'm aware that there are at least 2 other proclamations that we'll be doing that night, which, because I've been involved in writing them, might be too long. I've got to cut them back.
Be brief.
Yeah.
Be brief, Jim.
3.
Yeah, exactly.
3 that we know of
So
right
can you
now.
think of any, all right,
I said
anything else
3
we could
already.
discuss
3.
during the joint entities meeting? Sorry, 3
We
already?
have 3 proclamations that I know of right now.
Yeah.
Yours, Jim, Arbor Day also.
Yeah, one of them may drop out because we still haven't heard. And there's something I don't want to talk about in public, but it may drop out because a key person has not yet responded. So, all right, we'll see. But we could do this thing having to do with the minimum wage on the night of the 18th. Okay, anything else that you all know?
So
of?
is it just one item then for the joint entities meeting that we're putting on, the bond referendum?
No, well,
Or-
Kingsley just said we could indicate that we have chosen to issue a proclamation concerning the minimum wage, and we're going to issue it on the 18th during our next council meeting.
So you could just
Call
put it on.
proclamation concerning minimum wage? Or,
Iowa City's
FYI.
proclamation concerning minimum wage.
I think you can just
Put minimum
put
wage.
minimum
Right.
wage, but we'll
okay.
mess with it.
You can expound on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, I know of one other topic that needs to be brought up. In our late handout, we received a letter from Chris, our city clerk, announcing that he would be resigning and accepting a very nice position at, can I name the firm? Yeah, at Pearson's NCS. So congratulations to you, Chris. It sounds like a really good opportunity for you, and I wish you the best as it unfolds. It's been a real pleasure meeting you, getting to know you. I'm disappointed that you're departing, of course, but I understand it's a really great opportunity for you. And I'd like to ask the city clerk search committee to reconvene
Okay.
and come back to us on the 18th with recommendations.
I'm going to have to drop off.
Are you?
Just can't take that much. much time again.
Yeah. okay.
John?
Do we have a volunteer?
I was volunteering you, John.
Kingsley wanted to do it.
Seems like a good idea to me, John.
All right.
All right, so John would be the third member.
Okay.
On the climate change committee, it's,
And return to us on the 18th with recommendations about how to proceed. If there are any policy questions that we need to consider, I'm sure they'll be brought up as well by the committee. Okay, anybody else want to say anything about this particular item?
Just congratulations, Chris.
congratulations, Chris.
All the best.
And the great thing, you're staying in Iowa City.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see more of you too.
Yep.
Iowa City's the bomb.
Okay, anything else? We're adjourned.
You're watching City Channel 4. On TV, online, on demand, on Facebook, and now on the go on your mobile device.